Well, it's Sunday, March 26th. We're down in Marion looking at Sipkin out at Ram Island. Here to take a look at Calypso, see how she's doing, and update you on things we've got planned for the spring. So come on along. So there is Calypso in all her glory, all shrink wrapped. As you can see, the Stars and Stripes blue that was painted last season. That is not our dinghy, that's someone's rather sad looking dinghy just stored there. There she is. We'll probably have her unwrapped, I would say 2 more weeks or so. As you can see, the bottom paint, the black bottom paint needs to be refreshed, which we'll do or have it done. And then of course the Mantis anchor that we put on last season also, which has made a big difference, that 45-pound Mantis anchor. And I do have the original 40-pound plow anchor for sale. So again, anyone local to the Boston area, if they're interested in, give me a shout out. All right, so here's the stern of Calypso all wrapped up. You all remember the damage that was done last summer by the dinghy davits right here. This is all going to be repaired this week and good as new. So one of the things we're doing is we're having a new dinghy lift made for the boat. It'll made by Dinghy Butler up in Maine, and this one's going to be automated, and it will be a series of 2 arms that lower down, pick up the dinghy and lift it up. So hopefully it will fit and work out here. You can see Calypso in all her glory. What other projects are we doing on Calypso this year? So this locker right here, as you can see, I've taken the door off because the door was not closing, and if you forced it to close with the latch, it would jam. And we keep a fire extinguisher and our toolkit in here. So trying to figure out the best way to either have a new door made, or what I've done now is I've removed the rubber gasket and see if I can get one that's a little softer that will allow the door to compress and close properly. So that's one of the projects we're doing. Of course, there are the trick davits that we did use. They are in great shape. They work. If anybody is interested in a set of trick davits, they have the extended arms and they work great. Unfortunately for us, it was not a good fit, but they work fine. Let me know, send me a comment. I'm happy to sell them to you for a great price, much cheaper than the original. So now in the salon, big thing in the salon, all new interior. Let's take a look here. The entire salon everything was recovered. So that is the starboard settee. Under here is the port settee, you can see. And we'll do a walkthrough once we have the boat all set up with the carpet and everything, but I wanted folks to see it. That's also the pull-out sofa. It automatically slides down. So we went with a textile material instead of the vinyl that was here before. If you all recall, what was here was a gathered vinyl, and there's actually a small hole over there. So this was all covered with a textile. And then the dinette was completely recovered in ultra leather. It's a very similar color, but it was starting to wear up here. And so here, in addition to updating it, we had the same diamond stitching that we had done on the exterior seating. Recall that the aft bench, you can see it's still covered up there. The aft bench was recovered. All the seating on the flying bridge, including the captain's chairs, were done, and they used a diamond stitching. So here we had this recovered. It's a color that's slightly darker because previously it was the same color as the walls, which is all the same color everywhere. So we just had a little bit of color just to set it off a little bit, not a contrast. And then up above, this valance here. So this was a gathered strip, the same color that runs all the way around, and we had it redone in ultra leather in this chocolate brown. So it's now contrasts, and it's just a detail that sets the boat off. It updates the boat because, again, had all that gathered style of stitching, and that really is out of date. So now we have that. And so, yeah, it really updates the interior. And then we have this, the star pattern carpet. We have it put away because you have to have access to the engines, which are right underneath me. But so, yeah, so let's cover this up. But I think it's going to really make the boat look nice. And then lastly, if you come down through the boat, see, there's the carpet. You get to see the boat in all its glory in the dark. You can see there and there, we have these two brass reading lights. And the one on the starboard side does not work. I took it apart and I can't make it work. This one does work, but I'm going to update them. And what I'm updating them with is, you can see these brushed nickel LED lights that will screw on. They'll attach. So I'll take that all apart and put those on. So that's another project in addition to what we've already gone through. Up on the fly bridge, we are replacing the satellite that we have. We have an Intellian i3 that we actually have never really used it on the TV here. You can see here we have about a 32-inch flat screen. So we have a boat came with an Intellian i3 satellite dome that we never use because we don't have the receiver for it. And I looked into it and it didn't make a lot of sense to use that. So what we're putting in is a Starlink. So we have all of the parts. I've ordered the Starlink antenna and Starlink, and it's going to go inside a 24-inch dome. Had to order that separately because it's basically a dummy dome that I'm going to buy, and then the Starlink antenna will fit inside that. And then also it will correct another issue I think I've raised before for folks who have watched the channel, is I don't like the forward-facing radar mast that Sea Ray put on these boats. It holds the radar. So the new one is an aft-facing. It's lower. It's aft-facing. It's a 2-level mast, and so it'll have an arm that will support the Furuna radar, and on top of it we'll have that 24-inch dome that will have enclose the Starlink antenna. And then we're going to remove the Intellian dome and then put that up for sale if anyone's interested in that. Again, that works fine. All this equipment was relatively new when we purchased the boat 3 years ago, so we're taking that off. So yeah, that's kind of the projects we are doing, and we will keep you posted as we go along. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Cruising Calypso updates. See you next time.